Welcome back. Today we're going to look at two increasingly popular islands in western Thailand that are close to Cambodia. Both islands have beaches with a swimming pool-like clear water that Thai islands are known for. For several years, these two islands were places to avoid Thailand's more crowded islands. However, one of these islands is quickly attracting more and more people, especially from Eastern Europe. Kood is a relatively small island of 6 square miles, whereas Kood is much larger and more mountainous. So choosing a location to stay is more important here at Kood. Staying near Klong Giao Beach is a convenient place to stay. The famous white sandbar behind me is the place right behind it where the Klong Giao River flows into the sea. And at high tide, most of the white sandbar behind me is all underwater. This is the sandbar and Klong Giao River at low tide. There are a few hotels along the river that are less expensive than large resorts next door. There is one budget hotel that is owned by a large resort next door, and guests of the budget hotel are allowed to use the free kayaks at the large resort. Here's the same place during high tide. As for using kayaks in the area, as you can see, we are very professional at this. Okay, maybe go under the bridge. After some practice on the river, we found our way to the sea on a cloudy day. The beaches on Kood are generally located on the western and southern sides. With that in mind, Klong Giao Beach is centrally located. One nice thing about Thailand is that private resorts cannot restrict anyone from accessing any of the beaches. In other words, all beaches are available to the public. We rented a motorbike and we're going to check out several of the different beaches on Kood.
The first beach is Ao Prao Beach.
This beach is on the southern end of the island and home to 4 small resorts. A small village is located behind the west end of the beach. We just arrived at the second beach, Bad Klong Heen Beach. Nearby on the southwest part of the island, Klong Heen Beach is a beauty, and the only beach that we found that has larger waves. It also has less people and many palm trees growing almost next to the water. It's time to leave this beautiful spot and stop at one more special beach on the southwestern part of Kood.
just arrived at Bangkok Beach.
Moving back north, Bongbao Beach is the home of Siam Beach Resort. The beach has calm and shallow water, making it an ideal spot for wading far into the sea. All three of these beaches have white sandy beaches, just like Klongjiao Beach. The main road, passes right next to Klongjiao Beach. Further north, along the central west coast of the large island, is Ao Tapao Beach, home of three resorts, including Paradise Beach Resort and its parrot.
How come you have one yellow feather on your head? That feel good?
Ao Tapao Beach is a long beach and the sand is still quite nice, but some areas are not quite as white as the previous beaches to the south. The main road is further from the beach. It took us about 25 minutes to walk to the main road from here to use an ATM. We did see a very small snake here in front of a convenience store. The unusual part is that it didn't seem to be afraid of us at all. While the water is still very clear, the beach is less protected, and it is the only place where we found plastic floating in the water. All of the west-facing beaches of Kood Island have immaculate sunsets. It's time to take one of the ferries to the smaller island next door, called Kood. Kood has an area of approximately 16 square kilometers compared to the 111 square kilometers of where we just came from. Therefore, I expected there to be fewer things to see on Kood, and instead, a place just to relax. However, we were pleasantly surprised that my preconception about this small island was wrong. Most visitors will stay near either the long beach on the southwest side, where there are several restaurants and convenience stores, or on the northwest side of the island with a popular beach and the tiny island of Kood in the background. Before we visit Kood, let's first check out Kood. We took the bikes to the northeast part of the island to to the Cinnamon View Boardwalk. A motorbike is much more enjoyable to ride on this smaller island because the roads have much fewer people and they are flatter than the more hilly Kood. The Cinnamon View Boardwalk is the longest pier that we have come across. It stretches for nearly a kilometer or 2/3 of a mile into the sea. When we get to the pier area, they still have a small restaurant open and they charge 50 baht per person, which is about $1.50 US to walk to the end of the pier, and I think it's well worth it. It's a pretty cool view from here. There is also an abandoned resort called the Cinnamon Art Resort right behind the boardwalk, which we enjoyed exploring. Next, we're going to try to find a very unusual sculpture park on this small island.
This is a very unusual art museum.
This is Ao Son Nhai Beach, one of the two major beaches on Koh Mak. Behind me is an island called Koh Kam. Ao Son Nhai Beach, on the northwest part of the island, is near that special arts museum, and it has a few popular resorts next to the calm turquoise blue water. The sand isn't as beautiful as what we had in Kood, but it is a great place to enjoy the calm water, and it is convenient to visit the island next door, Koh Kam. While Koh Mak's beaches don't have the beauty of Kood's beaches, visitors to Koh Mak can experience the pristine white beaches on Koh Kam.
The water is very clear, and there are many small fishes.
The round-trip boat ride was around $6 US per person. The cost to rent kayaks was the same as riding in a motorboat. What's interesting about Koh Kam is that it's the site of yet another abandoned 5-star resort. The abandoned resort on this tiny island was going to be called Ananya Hideaway, but it was never completed. The beaches are very white here. Some of it, the sand, I believe, has been moved in from other islands, but still it's a very pretty and relaxing and quiet place. Walking from Ao Son Nhai Beach over the hill to the southern area's more populated area is not bad if you avoid the heat of the middle of the day, and it takes around 30 minutes. The southern area has by far the most restaurants, convenience stores, and resorts, but the beach isn't as nice for swimming as the water is noticeably less calm compared to the north side. So, Kood versus Koh Mak. The larger Kood has the beaches that are more beautiful, especially Klong Jiao Beach with its large white sandbar. The smaller Koh Mak is easier and more enjoyable to get around by motorbike because the roads are more flat and less busy. Therefore, I think that it is worth visiting both of them because they are noticeably different from each other. Of course, all comparisons are quite subjective. Thank you for watching our video, and see you next time on World Street.